Hi, everybody. I want to welcome you to joining me today. I have a friend of mine with me, and it's quite an honor for me to have her. She wrote 2 books in the past year, and she did that along with me in an author group that we were working in. And it's been an amazing journey for both of us. I want to talk with Kristin Panek today about her books, and they're about spiritual leadership. The first one is, and I want to just read it and make sure I get it right. The family needs my spiritual leadership now. The second book, Authentic Leadership, the guide to be a spiritual leader in your community. And thank you so much for being with us, Kristin. Tell me, what made you write these books?
Well, I have been in our Flowering Heart Center. We have a meditation center, and I'm finding, especially as things get more uncertain in the world, more chaotic in the world, people coming in realizing that, especially young mothers, the first one I wrote was for mothers of young children who realized at a certain point their children are adopting their values, you know, they're wondering what they believe. Like there's this point in time where they realize, oh, what is it I believe and what am I transmitting to my kids? And, especially when the kids are younger, the lives are so busy that to stop and think about that is another thing on top of a busy workload, especially if they're working and raising a family. So they come to our center when they realize that, and they're just like hitting a point where they feel like they need to move through some obstacles. And then for the second book, The Guide to Be Spiritual Leader in Your Community, really there are other women who come to our center, and to men as well, but for the women, it's they hit a point in their life where the other end, like the children are gone and they want to contribute back. So uh, they're like Annie, the woman here, she was feeling like she had stuffed her dreams about what to do, what she might want to do with her life until raising the family, because she was working as well. And that's a very full life. So even the thought of tuning into what she might love to do was scary because it might lead her away from her immediate chore, or immediate service, was to raise her
Yes.
family. And so to even go there wasn't really a possibility. And at a certain point, it was there. And it was like, okay, now I'm ready to contribute. But what skills do I have? I want to give back to the world. I want to help others. I've managed my life. I want to help others. And so then the journey begins, like, who am I? What am I good at? How do I lead others? And so I wrote this for people who really want to step into a leadership role. They actually have the skills, but they don't believe they're ready. And this is the thing. People think I have to be perfect. I have to have everything handled before I can lead anyone else, right? Before I can lead a group or lead a team. Like I have to know everything. I have to be the most knowledgeable and I have to have everything handled. But that's not the case.
No,
People,
it's really not. And what I loved about one of the aspects of your books is that you speak about leadership as leading with love, not being authoritative, and learning through that leadership. You want to speak to that a little bit?
yeah. So for me, I've grown up, as all of us, in a more, patriarchal culture, an environment where, it's top-down authority.
Yes.
And even with all the work people are recognizing, there's to move to a better way. it's still deeply ingrained. And so that kind of leadership works on fear. And if you don't do this, you're in trouble, right? It's what my
Yes.
teacher said. So instead, this is about embodying leadership. And from
Yes.
that place, an invitation, right? It's an invitation to follow. And it's an invitation for me to not only be the leader, but to be the student at the same time,
Exactly.
learning as I'm leading. And I'm leading you now, but then you might be leading me in something else later. So that this is
Yes.
not the leader necessarily, depends on what, environment we're talking about, work or center, but that we all lead each other in the areas that we are, skilled in.
Yeah. It was just so beautifully written, and just really, as a owner of a business, I may not be viewed as a spiritual leader, but it's so, everything in your books is so pertinent to being a leader in any aspect of life, whether that's a leader in your household, whether it's an actual spiritual leader in a community, or a leader in a company. Uh, that I just very the other aspect of the books that I love is the format. So you explain a particular point, and then following that, after each one is a meditation. And that is so beautiful. And it was so wonderful to close my eyes and relax and take in and experience, and be a part of learning through your books. I just, how did you come up with that? And what made you do it that way?
Thank you. Uh, I wanted to, well, you brought up 2 points, and just a word about the first one. Yeah, these skills are definitely for the workplace as well. I spent 20 years in the corporate world, and then I've spent 20 years in the spiritual world. And so I actually had to drop a lot of my patterns that weren't serving me from the business world to work in the spiritual world. And now I'm picking them up again, but from a different place, and
Yes, very
seeing how the
valuable.
two merge, right?
Yes.
So this is embodying that. And one of the ways I feel like it's effective to learn is to not only, you know, be presented some information, but really to experience it. And so I like to, create a space where people can drop in and experience what's being offered to them, so that they can begin to embody it, since it is about embodying leadership. So I'm glad you found that helpful.
Oh, just wonderful. I am so glad that you've come into my life, and I'm sure that there's so many people who can benefit from reading these books, and I encourage everybody to do so. So, what's the best way they can reach you?
Thank you, Carolyn. Yes, they can email me at kristinpanek@gmail.com. So my name is spelled Kristin, P as in Peter, Anek @gmail.com. And I'll be happy to send them a free copy of the book. Um, it is available on Amazon as well, but if you email me, I'm happy to send you a free copy.
Excellent. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Carolyn. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.